Okay,
Hello,
hello
everyone,
everyone,
and
and
welcome
welcome
to
to
Dog
Dog
Beat
Beat
Pride
Pride
Edition.
Edition.
We're
We're
really
really
excited
excited
to
to
share
share
this
this
Pride
Pride
episode
episode
with you
with you
guys.
guys.
This
This
is
is
a
a
partnered
partnered
edition
edition
with the
with the
Pomona
Pomona
Pride
Pride
Center. We
Center.
have
We
a
have a
really,
really,
really
really
awesome
awesome
lineup for
lineup
you
for you
guys
guys
today,
today,
and we're
and we're
just
just
gonna
gonna
jump
jump
right
right
into
into
it with
it with
our
our
very
very
first
first
guest,
guest.
our artist, Raul Pizarro. Hello, Raul.
Hello.
How are
How are
Thank you
you?
for
you?
having me.
Oh, of
Oh, of
Um,
course.
course.
Thanks for
Thanks for
being
being
here.
here.
So
So
please
please
tell
tell
us
us
about
about
yourself.
yourself.
Who
Who
are
are
you?
you?
Who is
Who is
Raul?
Raul?
my name is Raul Pizarro. I am an artist. I'm an immigrant. I have been painting for over 20 years now. And I had my first art gallery experiences all through the DAW. Like the DAW is the beginning of where my career began. And that's who I am.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Where do
Where do
your
your
art
art
inspirations
inspirations
come
come
from?
from?
Various places at different times. At the moment, I've been working on a series about reconnecting with um, childhood truths that uh, have left like a big impact on the way that I see life, and just re-examining them and
Mhm,
trying to see what parts of those are true and which ones aren't,
mhm.
and just find joy throughout it. That's what I'm working on at the moment. Well, one of the things I'm working on at the moment.
Do you have any of those pieces with you now?
I do. I can show you. Let me flip this around. Sorry, I don't know how to use this that well. Here it is. Sorry, I just found it. So this is some of the series. I started. I'm not sure if I can get up very high, but these are some of the paintings that I've been working on. Well, these are finished a while back, but these are lots of pandas. They're based off of conversations I had with a nephew of mine,
Mhm.
and it kind of started me on a journey with re-examining lots of truths that I had for myself, and just hopes that I have for them in the future. And this is one of the larger pieces I did.
Yeah.
This one is I made this with a really cool uh, easel that was made for me through a place called uh, Fab Lab, and it's a electric uh, easel that goes up and down, and it made painting accessible again because I wasn't able to reach lots of the spaces because I have muscular dystrophy, so I'm pretty weak. And I can give you a really quick sneak peek at that easel if you'd like to put me in
Yes,
the
please.
studio. I apologize, I did not clean the studio.
It's all good. All good.
And this isn't one of those, oh, it's clean, but I'm trying to pretend like it's not. It's actually messy.
The
Let me,
authenticity, we love it.
okay, so here we go. Flip this for you again. So this is the easel. It's the controllers on the floor. So
Mhm.
it goes up and down. This is actually what I'm working on at the moment. You get a
Ooh,
sneak peek of this too.
I love that.
And yeah, so this is this series that I've been working on for a few years now.
That's incredible. I love it. What is the idea behind your art style? Like, what is it that got it there?
I feel like a lot of my work is based off of telling my own story
Mhm,
because I feel like lots of times as a disabled person, a queer person, our stories are told usually to fit someone else's ideas of disability or queerness. And I think it's important to reclaim our own stories.
mhm,
And that's kind of what I've been doing for the past few years. Right before this one, I was working on a series on gender and um, the way we identify through our bodies. And I can show you a little clip of that. I have one over here as well.
yeah.
Um, this is right over here. and this painting is entitled Ocean with No Ebb. So this was a big departure from going from this to the animals. So I'm kind of like going back and forth. And right now I'm going to be starting a new series that's revisiting this series on identity.
I love that. Going into kind of that, so what is it like to be an artist and who you say, and I got this quote from Margaret as well, brown on wheels and full of rainbows? Like, how has this that been more of a struggle for you? Do you think the art scene has evolved to support you?
Um, I feel like the change has come through lots of activists that have opened new conversation that challenges lots of ways that art institutions have been um, working or not really working with disabled communities or and uh, personally I feel like the one space that's really never felt like I didn't belong was probably the DAW was the first one because it was accessible for one, which lots of spaces aren't, unfortunately. There's been some shows that are on disability or using disabled bodies as themes for the art shows, and they're in spaces that are not accessible to lots of people in wheelchairs, which is something that we've been fighting against for some time, like reclaiming our own stories. And I feel like there's been a change. There's still a lot that needs to be done. But I think that the most important thing that's been happening is by lots of artists with disabilities that are showing up and where we refuse to be invisible anymore.
Right.
And I think that that's one of the biggest changes, that we're using social media quite a bit to share our stories.
That's really beautiful and that's really nice. And it's truly the DAW is a place for everyone here, and we try to make it as as comfortable, as open. Like, everyone is welcome here, everybody has a place here. So it's really nice for you to reiterate that, because it's true. And I think you know you shouldn't be silenced. I think everyone should be able to share their art and their passions no matter what. So thank you. So my last question for you here is, do you have any advice for young artists, for young queer artists out there?
Yeah. I feel like it's really important to know that your stories are important, that your art is important, that you don't need anyone's validation to express yourself, that your art is very much your own, and not to worry about um, what someone else is doing or where they are in life. Just continue to do your thing and live your life the way you need to live your life.
That's really nice, because everybody's art style is different. Everybody has a little extra somewhere. And I think that's really nice, and everyone should be able to share that. Thank you so much, Raul, for being here and talking to us and letting us get a sneak peek of your art. I'm so excited to see the next upcoming series too. Your art is amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you. We hope to see you soon.
Okay.
Okay. Goodbye. And we'll be right back.
Okay.
I'm gonna switch on to the next person, but thank you, Raul. That was awesome.
After Sarah goes, then you and Roberto. Roberto's here. So once she's done, we're gonna have you guys switch out. Cool. Thank you. So just hang tight. Eddie. This happens. Like I try to split screen it like that. microphone. Yeah. No, that was my bad. My bad. Huh? This is way too high. This needs to adjust. You got it? I think you got it. Yeah, you got it. Okay, and then let me turn this on for you. You can clip it to yourself. This way?
I feel like I'm on Ellen.
We got the queerness down, so I mean, yeah.
Oh,
That was awesome.
no problem.
No problem, it's all good. Okay. And we're back with Sarah. Hello, Sarah.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. Thank you for being here with us very last minute. Sarah was our savior of the day. Um, okay, can you tell the folks, tell us all a little bit about yourself? Who's Sarah?
I am from the area around.
Mm-hmm.
I just found a lot of joy in creating it, making friends doing it,
Yeah.
and just using it as an outlet and now going into a career for it.
So, what are you hoping to do with your teaching credential?
I'm hoping to get hired out of school. I'm really into choir and singing, and yeah, so I'm hoping to hopefully by fall become a choir
Fingers
teacher somewhere.
crossed. Are you looking to work with like little kids, high schoolers, middle school? What are
I'm
you?
looking for high school.
A challenge.
You know, it's just a little bit more fun. You can
Yeah.
talk more casually
That's true.
instead of feeling
That's true.
like "Hey, everybody. It's like I'm on Barney.
I am the now Mickey Mouse. No, yeah. So, where do your inspirations come from for singing and everything?
For inspiration wise, I would say I draw a lot of inspiration from choir because that's where I first started doing music and performing. Soul music.
Oh, yeah.
That's really my inspiration now, the last few years, I would say.
Do you have any artists that inspire you?
For sure, Aretha Franklin.
Okay.
She
Yes.
is
Yes.
the queen of soul.
Mhm.
And she's the queen. Oh my gosh, she just makes it sound so natural and amazing. Um, yeah, Queen,
Mhm.
like because they have all their harmonies going on and
Mhm.
the way they build a song
Mhm.
is incredible. And Freddie Mercury, do I need to say more?
Do we need to know? Yeah. No, definitely. And so, well, that's cool. I enjoy that. Yeah, yeah. So what is the message that you're trying to portray through your music?
I would say my biggest like have people feel heard and like understood,
Mm-hmm.
and that like everything's gonna be.
That's really nice. That kind of ties into this my next question of like being an ally. This is our Pride edition. I know that you are an ally. So what does it mean to you to be an ally?
I think being an ally has a lot of different kind of characteristics involved.
Mhm. And like education, right? Making sure that you get educated
Oh,
on.
yeah,
Yes,
number
it's
one.
yeah, big one right there. Yeah. And do you have any advice to any young artists out there?
I would say just keep doing it. Keep doing it. Try your best. Don't stop because you don't feel good about it. You will get better. Just do your thing and be yourself.
Awesome. And so I know that you're gonna sing for us today,
I'm gonna
right?
sing a song today.
Can you tell us about the song? Why did you choose this specific song?
Yeah, I chose the song "Something Beautiful" by Tori Kelly, one of my favorite artists at the moment. It is all about. It's really for like anybody who's feeling lost or misunderstood or not inspired. Um, to just like kind of have them feel heard and that everything's going to be okay, and that you're something beautiful.
I can't wait to hear it. Should we get into it? Are you ready?
I'm ready. Are
All
you
right.
ready?
Are all of you ready? Okay, so we'll be right back with Sarah and her amazing singing.
No. Okay. Cool. It's
fall. Your tears are not for nothing. Let them fall. Let it go. It's true.
Okay, ready? Okay, and we're back. That was an awesome performance from Sarah, I would say myself. And now we have our two representatives from the Pomona Pride Center. We have Roberto, the vice president, and Frank, our president of the Pomona Pride Center. Hello to both of you. Hello.
Hello.
So can you tell us, each of you, I don't know who wants to go first, but tell us about who you are and what you do.
Frank, why don't you go start?
Okay, so my name is Frank Guzman. I am the president and one of the founding members of the Pomona Pride Center, which was established about 2 years ago. In 2 days, it'll be officially 2 years. And so I am a community member of Pomona. I've been an advocate for the community my whole life. I work in the community and I love service to others. And so I work hard to ensure that underrepresented voices have a voice. And so being a openly gay member of the community, and actually the first openly elected official in the city of Pomona, when I was on the Board of Education, I felt it was very important to be my authentic self, to not be afraid to advocate for others. And I'll pass it on to Roberto.
Awesome.
Well, my name is Roberto Munoz, and I am serving as the vice president of Pomona Pride Center. And I'm actively involved in several groups that serve the community. I'm on the board of Foothill AIDS Project, and I serve in the vestry of my church, which is St. Paul's Episcopal Church, an open and affirming church here in Pomona. So a couple of years ago, Pomona Pride was meeting in Pomona at St. Paul's, and I became aware of them, and I had a conversation with Frank about coming on board and serving in whatever capacity. And I was asked to be the VP or elected as the VP. And it's been a pleasure because even with the difficulties we've had with COVID and reaching out, we've been able to begin our journey in serving the Pomona Valley.
Yeah. That's awesome. So either one of you, can you tell me what the Pomona Pride Center is? What is it?
So we are a nonprofit organization that works to mentor and empower basically the LGBT community to live healthier lives, to be connected with the community, to have a safe space in our community. And so we are a nonprofit that's focusing on providing that for our community and for advocating for that so that they have that space. We are no different than everyone else. And so we just wanted to make sure that our voices are heard in the city as well.
Oh, yeah. So why do you guys think it's important to have something like the Pomona Pride Center here in Pomona?
Well, we're an area that's been underserved historically in representation. So I've lived in LA. I've lived in other parts of the Inland Empire, and but my understanding is that we had Bienestar here for a little while as one of the organizations, and there is a substantial number of people living here who could benefit from what we have. And as things have opened up, as far as especially queer culture for our youth, they need a place to be safe and to be getting resources. And it's the right time for an organization like us in the city. And we have a council that is very supportive. And so I'm gonna take a second here.
Yeah,
I was talking to my husband about the fact that we were going to be doing this and the fact that we received the proclamation for Pride Month from the council on Monday. And he was saying, wow, what a change, because 30 years ago, approximately, there was an ordinance that we're looking to pass in the city of Pomona that was discrimination for LGBT rights. And the council meeting was so over the top, they had to shut it down. They had to escort people out because it was so violent. There was a lot of vitriology. And so, growth has happened. The time is now. And we're not looking just to serve youth, but everybody, including our elderly our senior citizens. Some of us are getting there soon, and you know, there's a lot to take care of.
And if I could add to that, you know, I grew up in the city of Pomona. I've been here my whole life, and I'm 42 years old. And even I haven't always felt safe to be able to be my authentic self. So I married a woman. I have kids, and it wasn't until later in my life, when I was 30, that I actually came out and was able to live freely and know that I could contribute to the community just as much as anybody else. And so if I'm not willing to stand up for people who I care about, it's hard to have that expectation for people to stand up for us. And when I was first elected to my seat on the Board of Education, I felt it was my obligation to advocate for families, to advocate for kids. And initially, that was not part of my agenda. It was like I wanted to do things, but it was very shortly after I was elected in 2011 that families said, well, we didn't vote for you because you want to do this or that. Like, we voted for you because we know you can be that voice for my son who's gay, or my child who's in kindergarten who wants to transition and be a female. So it was the community that I felt that said we need help. We're underrepresented, and being a community of um, 85+% Latino disadvantaged families, I felt it was my responsibility to give as much as I could to that community, to be their voice, um, to be there alongside them so that they could use their voice to be strong. And it's just like art. Like, we all have a different story. We all paint a different picture. We all have different walks of life, but when we come together, we're stronger. And I've been very fortunate to serve in this capacity with the Pomona Pride Center. I've left my role as a elected official of the community, and I'm a member of just the community, and that's where I was before. That's where I am now, and I want to be able to advocate for those who are around me.
That is so awesome. Yeah, that is just amazing to hear. And I know that, you know, Pomona is primarily a Latino city, and I know that there are, you know, the stereotypes of like it's a sin because most Latino families are religious, and so, you know, being gay is something that's not openly accepted. So, you know, breaking the stereotypes, I think, is also something that's really important. And I think with a center like the Pride Center, like that's really important to have here in Pomona.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's great. Can I know a little bit about your logo? It's really cool. I love it. So what's the story?
So first, I'll start by saying I was a fan of the P Will. I thought it gave us a sense of closeness to what the city's logo was, although it was different. It had the rainbow in it, but as we had conversations as a board, as we started to look at the identity of the Pride Center, younger versions and younger artists were like art was just emerging, and we wanted to be relevant. And so designs came up, and it was like this. Like, when the board saw it, it was kind of like that's it. And it may have been. I may have had reservations at the time, but I can tell you, I haven't had one person say, "Where's that old logo?" It was just very well received. It was inclusive of our community, which is, when I say that, Pomona. Although I will make sure to say we serve the Pomona Valley, which includes cities other than Pomona, and we are here to serve everyone. But the logo is just a true representation of that. And the P Will is kind of a connection to exclusively Pomona, and we wanted our neighbors to also know that it's not just about Pomona, but about the Pomona Valley area that we serve. And Roberto, you might be able to add to that as well.
Yeah, so for those who aren't familiar, the P wheel is six different P's that form a wheel that is the official City of Pomona logo. And when the center first launched, we actually had a council person that was on the board back then, and we got permission to use that P wheel, but for the 6 different P's that were in the 6 colors of the original rainbow flag, or the ubiquitous one, the one that's everywhere. And so when we re-met this year and got some board members, and we started evolving into who we are today as a board, we are all aware of the changes, right? We're all aware that we aren't just 6 colors. We're all aware that we're not just LGBT, right? I mean, we're much more. And as our definition of who we are grows, so did this, and I love it. I love the fact that the trans community is represented. I love the fact that the people of color are represented, and I don't know, and it's ours, right? Nobody else has anything like this, and we are here to share it. And so, thank you for asking.
Well, yeah, I love that you have the rainbow in there. Like Frank had said, you have your rainbow in there, but you also include everybody,
Yep.
everyone else. And so, yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. So we kind of touched on the history a little bit, history of the LGBTQ plus community in Pomona. So what I want to ask is for both of you to speak on, what does pride mean to you? What does that really mean to you?
You know, when I think of pride, I think of authenticity. I think of people being able to come together, whether it's our chosen family or our birth family, whether it's friends who are our loved ones. It just coming together. And to be completely honest, it's not just about the LGBTQ plus community. It's about everyone coming together. And when I think of the rainbow, I kind of think of that, saying like everything under the rainbow. Well, we are all under the rainbow. And so we don't have to be inclusive or exclusive of the gay community, but really bringing everyone together to create community. And when I think of pride, I think of community. When I think of pride, I think of family. When I think of pride, I think of giving service to others and making sure that we all live our truth. And so for me, that's what pride is. For me, it's loving thy neighbor. It's all of that under whatever you want to include under your rainbow. That's what pride is to me. And so, like I'm very fortunate. Like I didn't have a hard time coming out. I didn't have experiences that many youth have, but I'm one of the lucky ones who didn't have that. Like I was afraid. I was afraid that I was going to have that. I was afraid that because I had family who was very into church, and I thought I would be shunned by family, and people who were close to me that might judge me for who I was. But I didn't have that. But I understand that our community isn't all as lucky as I am. So when I think of pride, it's pride in others, and so that's what I believe it is, and it's different to everyone. And so, but that's what it is to me. Thank you.
And how about you?
Well,
Your turn, Roberto.
You're hard act to follow with that, right?
know,
Because
that is awesome.
I agree very much with you that authenticity is really the root of it, right? And here's the ironic part of it is that pride is one of the 7 deadly sins, and we are taught not to be proudful. But in this case, pride has taken a whole new meaning because it is now reflective of being truthful and honest and authentic. And I am proud to be Latino, not because it's better, but because it's who I am, and it's just as good.
Yeah.
And when you're a minority and you belong to a minority, then it's important for you to be able to take every aspect of who you are and have a sense about yourself with it. And that's where I think pride is for me. So there, in orgullo, you're taught, don't seas orgulloso, don't be proudful. But there's a difference between not being proudful and not being proud. And so I try not to be proudful, but I am very proud of the gifts I've been given. And one of them is being gay, because today, at 64 years old, I would not choose to change. Now, if you had asked me that at 17, that was a whole different story. I had a little bit of a tough time back then, but today I see it as a gift, and to be able to give back, it's incredible.
You're your real authentic.
Yeah,
true
I
self.
really am. Took
Yeah.
a few years, but here I am. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. So that ties into my 2 closing questions. One being, what advice do you guys have to young queer people of the community maybe if they're struggling to come out, maybe struggling to come to terms with who they are, what advice would you have for them?
You know, sometimes I think that the young people of today have it so much easier than the young people of my generation or even the young people of Roberto's generation, because being able to be your authentic self back then was a different time than it is today. There are a lot more resources. There are a lot more organizations like the Pomona Pride Center that are there to support you. Um, but I don't want to discount what people are going through and the fact that suicide rates are highest among youth who come out, that we have data available to us that tells us it's not as easy. And so, although sometimes I may think that it is easier for the youth today to come out and to be the authentic self, um, I don't have that right to say that because I don't know what they're going through or their struggle or their journey. But I do know the advice that I would give is continue to live your truth, continue to strive to be your authentic self if you can't be that in that moment. But know that there are resources, know that there are people who are out here ready to advocate for you, to be by your side if you want to come out to your family, um, to have services not just for the LGBT youth or the gay fathers or the to have a friends and allies group, because the reality is the families don't always know how to deal with it. And so sometimes the best way to deal with it is to push it away. So I would say try to take that into consideration when you're coming out, because we can help educate your families, we can help educate your friends and allies who don't want to push you away but also don't know how to uh, take something in so abruptly. And so it's I believe it's the one of the roles of the Pride Center is to not just be there for the LGBTQ group, but also for their friends and allies. And so I would say reach out to organizations like ours and others who do some great work around what we're talking about, um, so that we can help you become your authentic self. And when I say we help you, we're there by your side so you know you have support.
That's awesome. I wish I had something like the Pride Center when I was growing up. I mean, I'm still fairly young, but this would have definitely helped me come to realize who I was as well. It
Yeah.
took me a while, but yeah.
If I can add, are we
Yo,
okay with that?
please, of
Okay,
course.
so one of the things, so as a gay man of a certain age, I'm a big musical theater fan, and there's a show called Dear Evan Hansen, and it's not particularly about gay characters, but there's a song called You Are Not Alone, and there's a song called You Will Be Found, and those are both really talk to youth needing to find their place in our society. And the hymn of You Are Not Alone rings so true to me, because if there's one thing that we can tell, not just our youth, but also our active members of all ages, and certainly our elderly who are maybe now without their partners and without their friends and without the organizations that were at one time their support group, you are not alone. And not only is Pomona Pride here for you, but there are a world of resources out there. And reminding ourselves that we are not alone helps us to be part of helps us be comfort, but then it also gives us the opportunity to help somebody else. When you reach out to others, you become a better self. And to me that's really incredible. And the resources, I'm going to give a shameless plug here.
No, please.
St. Paul's Episcopal Church, which is my church. I'm not pushing religion on anybody, but if in any way you have any kind of a urge to explore that part of it, it is an open and affirming church that is actually celebrating Pride on Sunday with our Pride Mass at 10 a.m. Look it up; it's online all over the place. And also follow us on Instagram, Pomona Pride.
Awesome. Thank you. So I have just one more question. Sorry. Just one more question. So last thing, what do you think as a community we can still work on to improve awareness and advocacy for the LGBT plus group here?
Well, you saved the toughest question for last, huh?
I'm so sorry.
I think we are like a living document. We're constantly changing, and what is effective today might be obsolete tomorrow. And so, but I think acceptance. I think that's the thing that we have to learn. You know, I don't like everyone who I meet. I don't. We don't get along with every single person who we encounter. But what I've always learned, and it's worked for me, is that I respect everybody. I may not like that I saw you yelling at your child in a disrespectful manner, or that you're speaking to your spouse in a manner that is disrespectful, but that's not my business. But I'm always going to provide respect to people, even if I've been disrespected to my face, and giving a respectful answer to that person kind of puts them in their place. And so, what I would say, we need to learn to be tolerant of others, whether they're like us or not. And we need to be respectful, whether they're living the same life as us or not. And because we don't know their journey, we don't know what they're going through, we don't know what happened this morning or last night. We people in general, and myself included, we tend to hide things that people look down on because we don't want them to see that part of us. And so, and I know that's easy to do, but it's hard to tolerate that amongst yourself and to be respectful of others. And so I would say if you could just tolerate others and be respectful, it goes a long way. We don't all have to agree on everything and do everything the same way. But if we could do those two things, in my opinion, it would make a heck of a difference in the future of all of us.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I agree 100%. Thank you.
Well,
Hey, Roberto.
I think that what I will add to that is that one of the heroes of the LGBTQ movement is Harvey Milk, and the greatest thing I learned from Harvey Milk is when he asked us to come out. He said, if you are living in a place where it's safe for you to come out, the most impactful activism you can do is to come out and live your life authentically. And when my husband Steve and I were looking for a place to live, we looked at Long Beach and we looked at West Hollywood and we looked at Silver Lake, and we thought, we don't want to live in a ghetto, you know, even if it's one that's to our benefit. We want to live in a community where we can just be part of the community. And maybe the most we can do to give back is just to live out loud. And back then I was busy with work and everything. And as it turns out, I become more active for the LGBTQ community than ever after that. But I really think that if it's safe and at your own pace and in your own time, come out, because once people know that we are people, then more and more of our rights and acceptance will be pervasive.
I agree. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. So thank you guys for joining me on this interview. You both amazing. I hope to work with the Pride Center again. You guys both I loved everything. The history, the information that you guys all had. Where can we find more of the Pride Center? How can others find it? Do you have a website, social media?
Well, you can look at, or you can www.PomonaPrideCenter.org, or on any of the social media outlets, just Pomona Pride Center. Type that in and you'll find us. We do have some amazing opportunities coming before us in the next few months. We have our inaugural gala scheduled for October 10th. Going to be at the Ebell Historical Ebell Club in Pomona. So we hope that you and all the others in the community will join in the celebration. And then we have our first annual 5K scheduled for January 8th, 2000 community, whether it's for the LGBT community or the friends and allies or just a family. We want you to tell us what that would be, and we want to be able to facilitate those meetings or those events for you. So, but Pomona Pride Center, can you hear me? We are here to stay. So yes.
Yeah, I'll add to that there's a link tree at the Instagram site, Pomona Pride Center, on Instagram, and you'll be able to get more information and actually RSVP from there. But we're also working with other LGBTQ and other groups in the neighborhood, in the community. We have partnered with Foothill AIDS Project to do some work. And we Ironbark, which is a business in Claremont, is doing some events that we're partnering with them and receiving some of the benefits on that. And one of our councilmen here, now I'm going to not remember his name, Victor.
Maybe Victor Preciado.
Preciado is sponsoring an event at El Jefe here on next week. So
Okay.
yeah,
That's awesome. You guys got a lot going on.
a lot going on.
Yeah.
Sure do.
So all of you out there, please go check out the Pride Center. They're here for you. They have all these awesome things that are going on. So thank you guys both for sitting down with me. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for being our partner in the show. It was really awesome, and I hope we can continue this partnership.
Thank you later.
If I could shout out the DAW Center, because they have been a advocate and a partner with us since our inception. Some of our first meetings were at the DAW Center. They've always been not just a shoulder that we could lean on, but a shoulder that we could work side by side with from day one. And that's not just for the Pride Center. I've seen it with various organizations in the community. And so I would be remiss to not say that Margaret has done an amazing job with the DAW Center for the Arts and being opening and welcoming to not just the Pride Center, but the whole community. So thank you, Margaret. Thank you, the DAW. Like, we could not survive without support from partners like you. So I just wanted to make sure to thank you for that.
I concur.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. Thank you, guys. You guys are awesome. All right. And we'll be right
Thank
back.
you.
And we're back with our last guest for the night. Hello, Mita.
Hi.
She's my new bestie. We just met today, but I'm already loving her.
They already got really good shoes. I was admiring their shoes. They're like one of those bands with like a show them off, please.
already know.
Yes, they're like
Hold
really
on.
cute.
Okay. Thank you. I'm glad her fit today was really cute. Okay.
Anything for the fit.
Anything for the fit. So please tell us who you are and what you do.
Well, I mean, I'm Mita. My pronouns are they, she. I'm a little bit about myself, I guess. I graduated from Cal Poly in theater. Right now, I'm studying ASL and social justice studies at Rio Hondo. Just to pass the time from the pandemic. I just took that opportunity just to learn because I just love education. So that's what I've been doing. I'm an artist. artist.
Mhm.
I'm a writer. I'm a roller skater. I'm a first gen. I'm a student. Yeah, that's
Literally everything in the
off
book.
the top of my head.
Everything in the book. And I understand you work in with the Pride Center.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do work in the Pride Center. I'm part of the programs committee and part on the board of the Pomona Pride
Oh,
Center. Yeah.
wow. So what kind of programs do you do?
I usually the last thing we just did was a drag ball. And I know it was super fun. So we did like a partnership with a couple of drag performers,
Mhm.
and it was like a 50-50 split fundraiser.
Mhm.
So 50% went to the Pomona Pride Center, and then
Mhm.
50% went to the drag performers individually.
Oh, that's
So
really
yeah,
nice.
so it was really
Yeah.
nice. So that's what I kind of mostly do at the Pride Center. I try to raise fundraisers, especially for queer like organizations, for
Mhm.
youth. Before that, I did kind of similarly like a variety show, and it
Oh.
was a fundraiser for the Pride Center as well as Black trans femmes of color
Mhm.
artists,
Yeah.
and we raised money for the Pride Center, and we put on a big show with different types of artists, spoken word, drag, singing, dancing, all that fun stuff.
The whole
Yeah, the whole shebang,
shebang.
all that jazz.
Oh,
So we did
nice.
that, and that turned into a big success as well. So yeah, that's what I really do, just fundraising.
Just a little bit of this and a
Yeah.
little bit of that. Literally everything. I love
Oh
that.
my God, stop.
No, that's awesome. That's so
Oh, thanks.
awesome. And I know that like especially like what really interests me was your drag ball because I know right
Oh
now for drag queens
yeah.
it's really hard for them to
It's
get
really
work
exactly,
because of the
exactly.
pandemic. So I think that's awesome that you guys were able to do that and
Yeah.
give them the funds for that as well. It's really
Yeah,
nice.
I think that was one of our points as well, that to definitely, to make sure they're getting compensated for the work
Oh yeah.
is valuable, and it's worthy of being compensated. So
Mhm.
definitely. Yeah.
Something else that really interests me was that when you introduced yourself, you introduced yourself with your pronouns, and that's
Yes.
something that I want to kind of touch on is how important do you think pronouns are, and kind of we're as a society we're like moving over to include them more in
Yeah.
things in like bios and email signatures because I know
Right.
you have yours in your email
Yeah.
signature as well, and so I just want to know like what is your kind of standpoint on pronouns and
I think they're so important.
Mhm.
They're so very important. They're essential towards the queer community. Anybody who's identifying as other than cisgender.
Mhm.
And not only is it okay, and it's whenever I'm in a space, I like to introduce them. Introduce each other and myself, with our pronouns, to
Mhm.
try to normalize it, to know that people, are different.
Yeah,
People
no.
can identify as different, and that's okay.
Mhm.
So I think it's so important, especially to make that safe and brave space for people who don't identify as solely he she,
Mhm.
or um yeah, he him she her, that's what I meant. But
No,
yeah,
I get
and then
it.
it's also a great way for allies who do identify as he him and she her,
Mhm.
to make sure that people who are non-binary, transgender, all that fun, all the alphabet mafia, that
Alphabet Mafia.
yeah,
Yeah.
the alphabet mafia, that they're seen, that
Yeah.
they're included.
Mhm. That's awesome. So I hear you're gonna be doing some spoken word for us
Yes,
today. Can you
yes.
tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I wrote this spoken word maybe a couple weeks after I came out to both sides of my parents. And
Oh.
I didn't come out like with them together. I
Mhm.
came out to them individually, but at that time when I was writing the poem, um it was around like 3 weeks after I came out to both of them, and there was like an energy shift,
Mhm.
in the household.
Yeah.
And I can definitely feel it, my siblings can definitely feel it. It was really awkward, and really, it was emotional, because you can feel like my parents, confusion, and their
Mhm.
worriedness, and their angerness towards me, and they didn't know how to feel. And
Mhm.
I knew that they accepted me, and they told me that they loved me, but there was still that like sense of, I don't want to touch you, I don't want to like like
Oh.
for you to like, you're like very fragile.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a lot of that's kind of what the poem is about,
Mhm.
that I'm gonna it's called One Day, and it's
Mhm.
just one day that that my home will be a home. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, we would love to hear it, right, everybody? Yeah, we would love to hear
Yay.
it. Yeah. Okay. Let me scoot on over for you.
Oh my gosh.
Spotlight.
I'll say the phone to you. All right.
Spotlight.
One day. One day, I'm going to walk into my door where my cat Honey will meow at me. Where one day my parents will greet me with her. They'll kiss me and twirl me around like they used to. I'll come to the kitchen and smell the arroz and frijoles cooking in there. One day, I would ask my mom to help her to cook dinner with me. I'll walk into my room and my brother Ricky will be there, drawing pictures in my bed, laughing at his so not funny videos, but funny videos to him. One day, I'm going to hug my dad so hard that he'll cry. The way that the hug will be so strong that he'll have to cry. The way that he never cried to me. One day, my sister will never get tired of my besitos. She'll snuggle me and hug me for more than at least 2 seconds. One day, I'll be able to go in my house with so much love in my heart, and I would never want to leave again. So much wonder and trust will be locked into that house that will be filled with everlasting love. One day that this will be my home. Oh, you're so sweet.
I just like could really just feel the emotion from that and like really like
Oh,
I'm
you're
kind of just taken aback by your words right now.
oh,
Like that.
thank you.
That's
No, I mean, kind of, yeah. I, I like, when I write, it's not like I write very sporadically. It's when I feel like it. I don't like, what I want to do is to write every morning, but I'm really bad at doing that. But whenever I have something that I want to get out, I definitely like, turn to a pen or paper or something. Usually it's my phone because it's so accessible. But yeah, I whenever like I have the urge. So yeah, I do have a couple, but like I feel like this one kind of fit towards today. Oh,
I
thank
was
you.
listening to it myself.
Yeah. Yes.
Just hit them and then like you said the dynamic changes.
Right.
And so that was something that like I'm sure a lot of people can really relate to and I think that's what's so beautiful about what you wrote. Like that's really
Oh,
nice to hear.
thank you. And I think a lot of the time, because I was like, oh, is this the right poem for today? Like, like I feel like there's a lot of like, self doubt that goes into like, writing. And I thought, and I really, you really validated me with that. So thank you so much. Oh, thank you.
I'm over here like okay.
Oh, thank you so much.
So last
Oh, yeah, look at that.
I realized I was muted. It's okay. Last question I have for you here is, you're in not inspiration. What words do you have for young queer people like yourself in the community? Maybe they're trying to figure out how to come out. Maybe they are trying to come to terms with themselves. Like, what kind of advice would you give, comfort to give to them?
um, I feel like a lot of folks, a lot of people today, like I'm just gonna resonate on what they said. But I think it's very important to like, to be unapologetically yourself and don't shy away from that. I think it's really important to not only, um um be who you are, but having that make sure you have that support system that's around you so you really do feel supported. So like let's say like you want to like come out. I think it's very important to like practice that maybe with your friends or like selected family who you really trust and that um that they won't judge you just before you're getting towards that like big step with your parents or your your guardians or whoever it may be. But I definitely, think that you should be true to who you are. You shouldn't be ashamed. You shouldn't be silenced.
Right.
You should definitely be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Be the 100%
Yes.
authentically you. Be the
Exactly.
real you.
Pride.
Yeah.
Pride.
Hashtag pride. Well, thank you so much, Mika,
Oh,
for
thank
sitting
you for
down
having
and being part.
us.
I need to have you back. Like you're just so much fun. You're literally so much fun. She's gonna be our in-house poet, in-house spoken word guest. You already know the whole shebang.
I would love to come back. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Where can we find you? Where can the world find you? Unless you're keeping that to yourself. Okay, okay.
I'm on Instagram. On Instagram, I go by They Be Rolling, hence like They Be Rolling. The actual like They Be Rolling. I roller skate. I don't think I don't know if I mentioned
No,
that.
yeah.
Okay,
That was so
but
cool.
yeah, so that's kind of where the phrase come from.
Mhm.
So I be rolling, but
But,
but
be rolling.
they be rolling. But yeah, that's my Instagram handle. I think that's my only really big social media that I interact with. So, but yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sitting down with
Thank
me.
you.
And
Thank you.
thank you, everybody, for watching. One more time, a really big shout out to the Pomona Pride Center for being here with us and for being a partner. And this will not be the last time that we're working with them. They are awesome. So please check out their socials at Pomona Pride Center on all their socials, PomonaPrideCenter.org on the web. And then check us out, dawcenter.org. We have a link tree in our bio and on Instagram. We are Daw Center for the Arts on all of our social media, so be sure to check us out. And we hope to see you guys next month for another Daw Beat. Goodbye.
Bye.
Whoa.